Hey guys, today for your viewing pleasure I have a really cool fluorescent light fixture that I got for Christmas. This is an American fluorescent model MS-104. This is a 4-watt preheat fluorescent strip light that runs on 120 volts. This fixture can be gotten new on the website lightbulbdepot.com for about $35. And it really is a really cool fixture. These aren't made anymore, although this one is in fact brand new old stock. This one was made around 2003, and they still make these, but they are no longer preheat. The ones they make now have electronic rapid start ballasts. But if you can get one of these that has the magnetic preheat ballast, they're a really cool fixture, and they made 6 and 8 watt versions of them as well. Now this fixture is what I like to call BYOBCS, that is, bring your own bulb, cord, and switch. When you buy these, it does not come with the bulb, it does not come with the cord, and it does not come with a switch. So I had to wire this thing up and put a switch on myself. I have this clear lamp cord coming out of the end here. They also don't provide this cord clamp. I had to wire that on myself. Got that at Walmart. The cord I got at Canadian Tire. And this switch I also got at Canadian Tire. It's a Leviton switch. And as you can see, I did not correlate colors at all. Clear cord, brown switch. So I lovingly call this thing Frankenlamp. And then the bulb is a generic, possibly GE made F4T5D that came in the Energizer fluorescent lantern. And then the starter, you can see right here. The starter did come with the fixture. It's a Hemco. Just a cheap Asian starter. Oh, not Asian, Costa Rica. My apologies to any Asians watching the video. FS22 for 4 to 22 watt lamps. So yeah, when you get these, you have to take it apart. You have to wire in the cord and wire in a switch. There is a knockout here to put a switch right on the fixture itself. I decided to go the easier route and put in a cord switch. And we'll look at the label here. American Fluorescent Corporation. This was made in the USA, by the way, made in Waukegan, Illinois. And by the way, American Fluorescent no longer, well actually they do exist, but they're not under this name anymore. Now they're called AFX Lighting. So there you go. There's what the underside looks like. I want to put some rubber feet on the underside. There's the other end. You could have the cord coming out this end if you want. So there's about it. And now, without further ado, I'll power it on for you. Flip the switch. Comes right on. And it's really bright. If you're used to, as I am, or as I have been before, if you're used to 4-watt battery powered fluorescent lamps that underdrive the bulb, holy crap, this is about triple the brightness. It's really bright. Turn it off and on a couple of times. Not very blinky. 4-watt lamps are not very blinky at all. There was a little bit of blinkage. So yeah, really cool fixture. Now this fixture does have one problem. The ballast, I'll open it up and show you all the innards later. The ballast, while it is a very decent ballast, and while it is a ballast designed for 4, 6, and 8 watt lamps, it terribly overdrives 4-watt lamps. 4-watt lamps, of course, supposed to get 4 watts of power. The ballast in this thing pushes about 6 or 7 watts through the lamp, and that's why it's so darn bright. And another side effect of that is, after it's been running for just a few minutes, the bulb is so hot you'll burn your hand if you touch it, and the ballast itself gets very hot. If the ballast in this were running a larger lamp, a 6 or 8 watt, the ballast itself wouldn't get as hot, and of course the lamps wouldn't be as overdriven, they wouldn't get as hot. There are much better magnetic preheat ballasts to run 4-watt lamps. This one does the job, but like I said, it overdrives really bad, things get really hot, but it serves its purpose. Now, just to demonstrate, I'll take out the starter here. If I turn it off and turn it back on, nothing will happen. But if I take my hand and run it along the lamp while it's turned on, it should instant start, which it probably won't, but oftentimes you can get it to do it. I'll try it with a different lamp. I have this lamp, the F4T5CW out of the Rayovac Magnum. This only has one intact filament, so it won't properly work on this. But if I put it in, I can take this lamp, and with the fixture turned on, which I think it is, I can take the pins of one end and short it across the pins on this lamp with the broken filament, and it'll start up. There you go. And it's running. Actually, I'm going to flip the bulb over because it's rectifying right now. This particular bulb, you have to have it in the right way or it'll just rectify. And there, not rectifying anymore. So yeah, bulbs with only one intact filament work just fine. And this particular bulb, so even though I can leave the starter in anyway since it won't activate since this bulb has only one filament, but just to prove a point I'll leave it out, turn it off and back on and it should instant start. There you go. So, this is a nice little fixture. It's really cool. Nice to be able to run my 4-watt lamps without having to use my battery powered fixtures, buying a bunch of batteries. And of course, my lamps will last longer in this. And they'd actually probably last longer if this thing didn't overdrive them so badly. But other than that, it's a really nice fixture. Now, that being said, when I got this fixture, I was kind of disappointed in the physical build quality. I did not... I expected this thing to have a bit better parts on it than what it did. Now, the body and the ballast are just fine. But what really disappointed me were the lamp holders. First of all, the lamp holders, and other people share my opinion on this, the lamp holders are crap. First of all, they move around like this, so it's really hard to put lamps in sometimes. You gotta hold on to the lamp holders. And apparently they break easy and stuff too, but yeah, they move all around and not very good. Another thing is the starter holder. Now, the starter holder itself works just fine, but the wires connecting it to everything else aren't properly connected to the starter holder in any way. They're just held in there by friction, and that is not very cool. So, someday in the future, I'll replace the lamp holders, and I'll replace the starter holder, and then this thing will be just fine. But for now, it works just great. So what I'll do now is, I will open this up. Alright, once you take 4 screws out, 2 here and 2 here, with some effort, the bottom and top halves will separate. When I first got this thing, I had a hell of a time putting it together. That's another thing, the fit and finish of the body isn't that great. But this is a industrial commercial fixture, so you wouldn't expect much less. There. So, you can see the power cord threads in, and one wire connects right there. We have a wire nut here, another wire connects right there. There's one of the lamp holders right there. And there's the ballast, this metal thing right here with the white label on it. I'll take everything out in a bit so you can see it. And there's the starter holder. And like I said before, this wire going in there, and there's a second wire coming out of it, they're just held on there by friction. Actually, if you look, you can see the metal wire right there. It's just sitting there, and I don't like it. So, what I'll do is, I'll disconnect everything here, and I'll show you the ballast. Alright, ballast is out. Here's what it looks like. Cute little thing. Made of metal, feels nice in the hand, pretty heavy. It is a Robertson model L48, meant for 4, 6, and 8 watt lamps. 120 volts, 60 hertz, 0.16 amps. Simple reactance ballast. That means it does not invert the voltage to a higher voltage, it simply limits the current, basically. Type 1 outdoor. Preheat is a very good system for using outdoors. Works a lot better in the cold than rapid start or instant start. And yeah, not much to show. Now I'm going to have a fun time getting this back in. But, there's the fixture itself, there's the lamp holders, starter holder, and yeah, pretty simple. And that's the nice thing about a fixture like this. You know, it's completely modular. You know, if this ballast crapped out, or if I wanted to switch it out for a different ballast, I can just haul it out and put another ballast back in. Most fluorescent lamp parts are standard sizes, so you can take one part out and slip another right back in. But yeah, so I'll put this back together now. I should also mention that this ballast also is made in the USA, and Robertson makes very good ballasts. Alright, here it is all back together. The only downside of a nice small fixture like this is that everything's cramped inside. But you can usually manage. So what I'll do now is, to end this video, I'll hook lamps of different sizes up to this. I'll hook 6 and 8 watt lamps up to it. So I'll go ahead and do that. I thought I'd take a little time to educate you on just how pretty much any preheat fluorescent lamp's hooked up. So here we have the bulb. One pin on one end of the bulb is connected directly to the outlet. So there's our AC power source. And for the ballast, I'll represent it as a resistor. The ballast is also connected to AC power, and then the other end of the ballast goes into one pin on the other end of the lamp. So see, one end of the lamp connects directly to power, the ballast is also connected directly to power, and the other end of the lamp goes to the ballast. And in normal operation, that's how power flows. From one pin on one end to one pin on the other end, your power and your ballast. And then the other two pins are connected to the starter, which I'll represent as a switch. And it's quite simple. When you first turn the lamp on, of course the gas isn't ionized, the lamp doesn't glow. The only way power can flow is through the starter. So the starter glows and heats up, and when it heats up, it closes. The switch closes. So how power flows is, it goes from power to the ballast, to this pin, through the filament. I'll draw a filament here. There's your filament. Through the starter, out here, through the other filament, and then back around again. And then once the starter opens up, the only way power can flow is from the pin, power, ballast to the other pin. And that's how it works. Alright, here is my vintage General Electric F6T5CW, the original lamp from the Rayovac Sportsman. I never run this lamp because I don't have a decent fixture to run it in. I only want to run this lamp in a decent preheat or rapid start fixture, which I don't have. This is the only fixture that I have that I can run it on that's not instant start. So what I want to do is I want to actually sometime obtain a 6 watt preheat or rapid start fixture so I can run this lamp and enjoy it. So as you can see, I have two alligator clips connected to each pin on this lamp holder, and I have them running connected to the lamp pins right here. So when I flip the switch, it comes right on. And it's very nice looking. And this lamp probably isn't overdriven. 6 and 8 watt lamps I don't believe are overdriven by this ballast, just 4 watt lamps. But there you go. As you can see, looks very nice. We'll turn it on and off a couple of times. It's a little bit blinky, not bad. So there you go. Now I'll hook an 8 watt lamp up to it. Now I have my Norelco F8T533, the lamp under the Burgess Safari light in here, hooked up the same way, so I'll turn it on. Comes right on. Runs just fine. Turn it on and off a couple times. Bit blinky. Blinkiness is always cool. You can see the filaments heat up at the ends sometimes. So there's that. Well, that's pretty much all there is to show for the American Fluorescent Corporation model MS-104 preheat strip light. Pretty nice little light. I'll have the link down below if you want one for some reason. As for this light, it lives on my shelf right up there, and I use it just kind of as an accent light. So, there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.